Well, the Texas governor says the White House has been helpful and responsive to the crisis. President Trump is monitoring the situation from Camp David and says he will travel there once conditions allow it. Well, Mr. Trump tweeted about the relief efforts, saying great coordination between agencies at all levels of government. Continuing rains and flash floods are being dealt with, thousands rescued. Well, our Boris Sanchez joins us now from Washington. And Boris, the president sounding pretty optimistic about the efforts so far, but these are early days we're talking about.
Right, exactly. There's still several days of rain ahead before we can fully appreciate the damage caused by Hurricane and now Tropical Storm Harvey. Despite that, the president was touting the coordination, as you said, between the federal government, state and local agencies. He's been very vocal about this storm on Twitter earlier today, talking about rescue operations, talking about the strength of this Category 3 hurricane, as well as the ensuing flood, calling it a 500-year flood. As you can see, he writes that there's good news, that they have great talent on the ground. Again, talking mostly about the response to the storm. We know that the president, as you said, took part in a teleconference briefing earlier today from Camp David, meeting with members of his cabinet as well as top officials around the country. The president obviously keeping a close eye on this and apparently heeding warnings from at least one Republican senator who earlier this week tweeted out to the president saying to make sure that this doesn't turn into another Katrina. That was Senator Chuck Grassley. The president tweeted him back saying that this would not become another Katrina. And obviously he's making an effort here to show that he's active in the response to Hurricane Harvey.
Yeah, that is the big fear, that it could be a Katrina, Boris. But President Trump has also had time to tweet about other things like the Mexico wall and book recommendations.
Yeah, these tweets are raising a lot of eyebrows, Linda, because of the timing of them. As he often does, the president goes off into tangents. As we know, his Twitter account, there are a few things that are off limits for him to tweet about. So he mentioned NAFTA and the United States potentially exiting that trade agreement, and again, the wall, a wall on the southern border with Mexico. He writes, quote, "With Mexico being one of the highest crime nations in the world, we must have the wall. Mexico will pay for it through reimbursement." Important to point out, the wall was part of some of the discussion on the Sunday morning talk shows in which a lot of, political rhetoric gets questioned. He then also went on to tweet a book recommendation from his friend, Sheriff David Clarke. So he seems to be not only monitoring the storm, but the Sunday morning talk shows and promoting his friends, Linda.
All right, Boris Sanchez, good to have you from Washington. Thanks so much.
Thank you.